Around the year 2009, I was going through somewhat of a gaming limbo. At the time I didn't own a single gaming console nor a PC to play games on, and so I found pleasure in my second generation iPod I had begged my family for as a Christmas present. So with that in mind, I spent a very large amount of time delving into the App Store for new games and playing them under the desk during my geography lessons. And that's why I have a pretty solid top 10 list for iOS games and a very poor understanding of how mountains are formed. So with the history out the way, let's count down the top 10 iOS games of my childhood. Or awkward teens to be more accurate.
10.
So I found this endless runner shortly after purchasing an iPad, and I was completely drawn in by its currency system. As you progress through the endless runner, you pick up coins which then allow you to purchase really unique looking jetpacks, and this drove me to keep playing. With each jetpack unlocked, I felt like I had discovered something completely fresh, and this allowed me to keep progressing on through the endless runner. The creators of the game, Halfbrick, actually reached out to me on Twitter 2 years ago after I shared my Jetpack Joyride high score and added millions of coins into my account, which completely ruined the progression for me and essentially means that I only ever play this game when a new content patch is released.
9.
I wonder if the storm of backlash from this app's insane success has died out yet, but that's to be expected of a quick toilet seat game that gets a movie, toys, shows, a soap dispenser, arcade machine, socks, underwear, and millions of sequels. But despite the backlash, I actually really enjoyed playing Angry Birds. It reminded me of a game I used to play on a Flash website called Castle Crasher, and a catapult mechanic always felt satisfying to me. This game is great for children and adults and will forever be ingrained into my mind as the app that started the App Store.
8.
I was completely shocked when I showed this game to someone the other week and they'd never heard of it. It was my understanding that this game had a cult following at some point, but it just seems like the status has fell off quite a lot. So this is Doodle Jump, and the game is insanely simple. You tilt your phone from side to side to jump to higher platforms, while also trying to reach collectibles and shooting enemies up ahead. It's a very simple game in concept, but a real challenge comes once the game starts to ramp up. Me and my friend used to play head-to-head Doodle Jump when we were in secondary school, and always had a great time. This one is definitely worth checking out, even if it's for a few minutes a day.
7.
Now this one is fresh onto the App Store, but I've been playing it a ton. PACMAN 256 is the combination of both Namco and the people behind Crossy Roads, and a very unique take on the Pac-Man formula. This version is an endless runner that focuses more on overall score and powers than ever before. This game kind of sells itself really, and that's mainly because the game is free to play. However, you only get 6 lives per hour, but you do have the choice to opt out of the free version for $8, which is a nice feature considering freemium games usually try and squeeze as much cash out of you as possible. This game is great for a quick 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay before putting down and returning to the next day.
6.
So I have never played a game like Plague Incorporated until the release of Plague Incorporated. I originally picked up the title since it was trending on the App Store 2 years ago, and I found myself really enjoying it. Once again, another quirky strategy game on this list. I found myself losing and retrying to spread my man-made infection throughout the world many times. There is just something so addicting about this title. Once you start a game, it's almost impossible to put down before you've killed the entire population. This game is seriously enjoyable and still holds a very firm spot amongst my iPhone library, and if you've yet to play the game, I highly recommend it. The game is best played on iOS if you ask me, despite it having a PC edition now, so if you want to create your own illness and wipe out the entire planet, give this one a shot.
5.
So what can I say about this game that you don't already know? It's Fruit Ninja. You slice and dice yourself through a combination of interesting fruits to earn high scores and multipliers. This game is the sole reason for touchscreen gaming, and it is available on every platform going these days. However, the only true way to enjoy this game is on your iPhone or tablet. This game is a very perfect game for me because it's visually appealing, very responsive, and has a similar currency to that in Jetpack Joyride, which of course is due to the fact that they're made by the same development team. Pick this one up today, or if you suddenly desire the urge to sweat, then pick this one up on the Xbox Connect for a good little workout.
4.
So my story with this app is actually quite unique. This app is a port of the original game Call of Duty World at War, which released on PC, PS3 and Xbox 360. However, at the time I had never heard of Call of Duty or had played on a PS3 or Xbox 360, so my mind was blown at how fun it was. It was then through my love of this app that I actually went and purchased a PS3 and got completely engrossed in gaming again, and I feel as though if it wasn't for this app I wouldn't really be a gamer anymore, since I had no desire to play. Now, being the first ever game I played was zombies, I have insane nostalgia goggles for it, but with that said, I re-downloaded it on my iPhone, and it holds up as amazing as I remembered, and plus now they have all 4 maps on the original zombie maps, which just makes me seriously happy. If you've yet to pick up this title, it's great for a little Call of Duty on the go.
3.
Now, Bloons Tower Defense is another game I love since it was ported over from the website version. I used to play this game a ton as a kid since I have an insane love for tower defense games, and there is just something about the simplistic and cartoony art style that has always drawn me in. I adored Bloons Tower Defense 4 when it was originally released on the App Store, but I found myself loving Bloons Tower Defense 5 more in the long run since it seems to handle better than the previous version. If you've yet to try out this game, just jump straight ahead into the free web version before purchasing it, and don't even think about paying full price for the Steam version. That's just robbery.
2,
So I'm pretty sure by now you've all heard of the franchise Plants vs Zombies. It's plastered all over buses, game posters and Xbox dashboards, but before this game was converted into some generic FPS shooter or some lazy freemium sequel, there was the classic Plants vs Zombies. Now, this game didn't originally release on iOS, but its cartoony simple graphics and its touch-easy interface makes this game at home on the platform. This game's simple humour and hilarious ending makes it one of the perfect entry points for anyone in this series. Just avoid the sequel. Paying real-life money for some in-game plants is just shameful, and it really made me lose faith in the franchise. You can actually pick up this entire game for free now, and it's just how free apps should be. The app is the entire game, with just a few minor adverts that don't affect gameplay.
1,
Now, the number one app on my list you may not have even heard of, and you're probably never going to get to play, and that's because the app got too big for its own good. Tap Tap Revenge was an iOS rhythm game that had a really fantastic collection of music from a lot of big names and artists or those who were up and coming. The game was flawless, it ran insanely well and the rhythm was perfect, and the game rewarded those who did well. Now, the biggest thing this game had going for it was a multiplayer option where you would be thrown into a lobby of your choice and played for a high score against 10 other people, which was both insanely tense and fun, making sure not to miss a no, but it was also insanely charming when heading into the chat room afterwards to discuss the match with random strangers. This game was honestly perfect until it was poked and prodded by the corporations behind some of the artists, which then created tacky spin-offs, freemium services, and then later a buyout which removed the game from the App Store completely. Now, it's unsure whether this app will ever make a return, but it will always be my number one iOS game. It was simply perfect, and not many games managed to fully capture the essence of a platform, but a rhythm game with a fantastic selection of music for an iPod is just the perfect combo. Oh hey, so it looks like you've made it to the end of the video. Why thank you. This one was an insanely fun one to make, and I'll be sure to make very similar ones in the future. If you want to see more videos like this, why not click that subscribe button? By clicking that button, the next video that I make will be on your homepage, and that way you won't have to go looking for it. So if you've not done binge watching yet, why not click here? This is my top 10 Game Boy Advance games list, and it's great for those who have a very nostalgic mind just like mine. So once again, thank you all for watching, my name is James, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.